Installing a subpanel in the attic of a tailor shop is permissible, given adherence to specific conditions and regulations. Firstly, compliance with the National Electrical Code, or NEC, is paramount. This includes all NEC stipulations regarding subpanels, attic installations, and maintaining proper working clearances around electrical equipment. Adequate space must be provided around the subpanel to allow personnel to perform maintenance and operational tasks safely. The NEC mandates specific clearances to ensure the safety of individuals working on or near electrical panels. These clearances typically involve minimum distances in front of the panel, as well as widths and heights that provide unobstructed access. We refer to the NEC for precise measurements based on voltage and equipment type. Secondly, accessibility is crucial. The subpanel must be readily accessible for maintenance and operation. This means ensuring sufficient space around the subpanel for a person to work safely and without obstruction. The NEC defines readily accessible as being capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections, without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to climb over or remove obstacles or to resort to portable ladders, and so forth. In an attic environment, this may necessitate installing a permanent walkway or platform to reach the subpanel safely. Thirdly, proper ventilation is essential. The attic must be adequately ventilated to prevent the subpanel from overheating. Subpanels generate heat during operation, and insufficient ventilation can lead to elevated temperatures, potentially causing equipment malfunction or failure. Ventilation can be achieved through natural airflow, such as gable vents, soffit vents, or ridge vents. In some cases, mechanical ventilation, such as exhaust fans, may be necessary to ensure adequate airflow. The specific ventilation requirements will depend on the size of the subpanel, the ambient temperature of the attic, and the amount of heat generated by the electrical equipment. Fourthly, fire safety is a significant concern. The subpanel must be installed in an area not exposed to excessive heat or flammable materials. Attics often contain combustible materials such as insulation, wood framing, and stored items. Installing a subpanel near these materials increases the risk of fire. Ensure that the subpanel is mounted away from any potential sources of ignition and that all wiring is properly secured and protected. Consider using fire-resistant materials for the subpanel enclosure and any surrounding structures. And fifthly, obtaining the necessary permits and inspections is mandatory before commencing any electrical work. Local building codes may have additional requirements or restrictions for electrical installations in attics. Checking with the local building department ensures compliance with all applicable regulations and avoids potential penalties or safety hazards. The permit process typically involves submitting plans and specifications for the electrical work, paying a fee, and scheduling inspections at various stages of the installation. Inspections are conducted by qualified electrical inspectors who verify that the work complies with the NEC and local codes. In addition to the general requirements mentioned above, there are several other considerations to keep in mind when installing a subpanel in an attic. These include ensuring proper grounding, using appropriate wiring methods, and protecting the subpanel from physical damage. Grounding is essential for electrical safety and helps to prevent electric shock. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment be properly grounded to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This typically involves connecting the subpanel enclosure and neutral conductor to a grounding electrode system, such as a ground rod or water pipe. Wiring methods must comply with the NEC and be suitable for the specific application. In attics, wiring is typically run in conduit or cable trays to protect it from physical damage and environmental factors. The type of wiring used must be rated for the voltage and amperage of the circuit and be suitable for the temperature conditions in the attic. Protecting the subpanel from physical damage is also important. Attics can be dusty and prone to rodent infestation, so the subpanel enclosure should be sealed to prevent dust and pests from entering. Additionally, the subpanel should be mounted in a location where it is not likely to be bumped or damaged by stored items or other equipment. Now, to elaborate further, let's delve into the specific NEC requirements that are relevant to subpanel installations in attics. The NEC, published by the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, is the primary standard for electrical safety in the United States. It is updated every 3 years and contains detailed requirements for all aspects of electrical installations. Article 240.4 addresses protection of conductors. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are used to protect conductors from overloads and short circuits. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be matched to the ampacity of the conductor to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Article 310.15 covers ampacity of conductors. The ampacity of a conductor is the maximum current it can carry continuously without exceeding its temperature rating. The ampacity of a conductor depends on several factors, including its size, insulation type, and the ambient temperature in which it is installed. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacities of various conductors under different conditions. Article 408.36 addresses overcurrent protection. Panel boards, including subpanels, must be protected by overcurrent devices to prevent overloads and short circuits. The overcurrent protection device must be located at the point where the conductors supplying the panel board receive their power. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be matched to the ampacity of the panel board. Article 408.38 addresses panel board location. Panel boards must be located in readily accessible locations and must not be installed in hazardous locations, such as areas where flammable materials are stored. The NEC also specifies minimum working clearances around panel boards to ensure the safety of personnel working on or near the equipment. Article 110.26 addresses working space about electrical equipment. Sufficient working space must be provided around electrical equipment, including subpanels, to allow personnel to perform maintenance and operational tasks safely. The NEC specifies minimum distances in front of the equipment, as well as widths and heights that provide unobstructed access. The specific working space requirements depend on the voltage of the equipment and the presence of any exposed live parts. Article 314 addresses junction boxes, pull boxes, and conduit bodies. Junction boxes, pull boxes, and conduit bodies are used to enclose and protect electrical conductors. The NEC specifies the types of boxes and conduit bodies that are permitted for use in different applications, as well as the requirements for their installation. In attics, junction boxes and pull boxes must be readily accessible and must be supported independently of the conductors they contain. Article 334 addresses non-metallic sheet cable, or Type NM cable. Type NM cable is a common type of wiring used in residential and light commercial applications. The NEC specifies the conditions under which Type NM cable can be used, as well as the requirements for its installation. In attics, Type NM cable must be protected from physical damage and must be supported at intervals not exceeding 4.5 feet. Article 394 addresses concealed knob and tube wiring. Knob and tube wiring is an older type of wiring that is still found in some older buildings. The NEC specifies the conditions under which knob and tube wiring can be used, as well as the requirements for its installation. In attics, knob and tube wiring must be inspected and approved by the local electrical inspector before any new electrical work is performed. It is crucial to consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes to ensure that the subpanel installation complies with all requirements. Failure to comply with these regulations can result in safety hazards, property damage, and legal penalties. Moreover, consider the specific environmental conditions within the attic. Attics can be subject to extreme temperatures, humidity, and dust accumulation. These factors can affect the performance and lifespan of electrical equipment. Choose a subpanel enclosure that is rated for the environmental conditions in the attic. Consider using an NEMA 3R or NEMA 4 enclosure, which is designed to protect against rain, snow, and dust. Additionally, ensure that all wiring and connections are properly sealed to prevent moisture and dust from entering the subpanel. Furthermore, it is good practice to label all circuits in the subpanel clearly and accurately. This will make it easier to identify and troubleshoot problems in the future. Use a permanent marker or label maker to create clear and legible labels. The label should indicate the circuit number, the area served by the circuit, and the load connected to the circuit. Also, consider installing a surge protective device, or SPD, at the subpanel. SPD are designed to protect electrical equipment from voltage surges which can be caused by lightning strikes or other electrical disturbances. Voltage surges can damage sensitive electronic equipment, such as computers, televisions, and appliances. An SPD can help to prevent this damage by diverting the surge current to ground. When selecting an SPD, choose one that is rated for the voltage and current of the electrical system. The SPD should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. As a reminder, always disconnect power to the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before touching any wires or components. Work carefully and follow all safety precautions to prevent electric shock. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to perform the subpanel installation. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is best to leave it to the professionals if you are not properly trained and experienced. In summary, installing a subpanel in an attic requires careful planning, attention to detail, and compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. By following the guidelines outlined in this discussion, you can ensure safe and reliable electrical installation.